Humans are a tiny blip in the history of the Earth. I'm Praveen Kaur, and in this episode of Evolutionista, I'm going to be painting the story of Earth from early fires to forests to fish and to us, in the hope that maybe we can understand and appreciate our place in this vast timeline, no matter how small. Earth began its life at the same time as the other planets and the Sun. The Earth formed through the process of accretion, which basically means small bits of matter, of rock, coming together and in effect sticking together. And as this lump of rock got bigger and bigger, the gravity increased and pulled in more and more and more until the Earth formed. Practically, this does mean that all of the elements here on Earth were actually present at the beginning of Earth's history. So, for example, all of the gold on the planet, all of the other minerals that are being used in technology, they're all present, and they have been present here for billions of years. These elements and minerals were not created here on Earth, they were created out in space, and then they came together through the process of accretion, and they are finite. For 500 million years, the Earth was molten rock, with rivers and lakes of lava. There was no water. There was no life as we know it today. However, this early period was crucial. It's the period when Earth reached its full size. It was also when the Moon was formed and fell into orbit around the Earth due to a collision with another planetary body. It is the chaotic beginnings of this planet. This time of Earth's history is known as the Hadean Eon, or Hadean, named after the Greek god Hades, for the hellish world that Earth was. 4 billion years ago, the Earth started to calm down and cool, forming the first crust of the planet. It is unclear where the water actually came from, but as far as we know, around 4 billion years ago, early oceans began to form. This is the eon known as the Archean Eon, where life begins in the depths of the primordial seas. Early life was very, very simple. Single-celled organisms built up from organic molecules. Organic molecules are the building blocks of life, molecules that include carbon. So we now have these organic molecules coming together. They finally form cells, simple cellular structures, the first life forms. This time of Earth also has a greenhouse gas atmosphere. There is no oxygen. So early life forms evolved in a greenhouse gas atmosphere. And it is said that this atmosphere, because of its greenhouse, gave an orange hue across the planet. During what is known as the Proterozoic Eon, the Earth was actually covered from pole to equator in ice and snow. Global glaciations happened several times and on occasion for several million years at a time. Life survived at the bottom of the ocean even during global glaciations. Would we survive today if we had a global glaciation? If really the whole surface of the Earth all covered in ice and snow? I'm not sure we would survive it. Not the environment that we have evolved to live in. 500 million years ago is when the Cambrian explosion occurred. This is when life diversified rapidly. This is when we get the primitive skeleton evolving, also the early eyes as well. And the game of predator and prey really kicks off. The jawless fish would diverge into many lineages, and one of those lineages is the vertebrates. We are part of the vertebrates, as are many other species. The vertebrates would evolve to become amphibians, reptiles, and then of course mammals. The transformation to our modern world from the ancient world has been powered by various sources, one of them being coal. The world's coal deposit, majority of it, comes from the Carboniferous period of Earth's history. This is a period that dates from around 360 million years ago to around 300 million years ago. The fish have now come onto land, evolving into amphibians. Marine life is abundant, and so is insect life. And this is the first time that we actually see reptiles. This period is really defined by these vast, swampy forests, huge trees. And it's these trees, these swampy forests, that eventually created those coal deposits that we use today. Mass extinction events give rise to new life forms. As unfortunate and as unpleasant as it might sound, that is the truth. During various points of history, certain organisms were not able to adapt quickly enough to the changing environment, whatever that change may be. And so they died out. 2.5 billion years ago is considered to be the first mass extinction event, known as the Great Oxygenation Event. Cyanobacteria evolved to photosynthesize, the byproduct being oxygen. Early organisms evolved in a greenhouse gas atmosphere, and they were unable in time to adapt to an oxygenated atmosphere. And so they died out, giving way to new species that are evolved to survive and thrive in an oxygenated atmosphere. During the last 500 million years, there have been 5 mass extinction events, known as the Big Five. The worst one of all occurred 252 million years ago, when 96% of life on Earth was wiped out. And what came after this event? The dinosaurs. The dinosaurs began to evolve around 245 million years ago, and they dominated the planet right up until 66 million years ago, when the asteroid hit and wiped them out. Today, grasslands are part of our ecosystem, they're part of our world. We have finely cut grass lawns in our gardens, fields of grass. However, grass actually evolved quite a long time ago. The earliest species of grass evolved alongside the dinosaurs, which was around 100 to 110 million years ago. Really, for the majority of the period that dinosaurs were around, there was no grass. There were other types of plants, and obviously lots of trees, but there were no grasses. And it was only around 10 million years ago to maybe 5 million years ago when grass actually spread to become savannas. These great savannas that we hear of, our ancestors trotting along the savannah, this and that only actually occurred around 10 million years ago. Flowering plants evolved around 130 million years ago, again alongside dinosaurs. Flowering plants not only includes colourful flowers, they actually also include seeded plants, which turn into fruits, vegetables, herbs and spices and all manner of things that we consume today as part of our diets, around 10,000 years ago, humanity began to purposefully plant flowering plants in the forms of crops, while also hunting and gathering. Agriculture began to very slowly develop in various parts of the world, independently and with whatever local crops there were available. 66 million years ago, an asteroid hit the planet and unfortunately caused a great mass extinction, the last one of the big five, and the dinosaurs were wiped out, all except the birds. The birds are actually descendants of dinosaurs. Extinction begets speciation, meaning when species die out, it leaves room in the ecosystem for new species to come about. It is because of the death of the dinosaurs that the mammals were able to come out and fill the niches left by the dinosaurs to thrive, diversify, and rule the terrestrial landscape. We, as humans, are primates and mammals, and we are part of that journey. We are part of that tree of life of mammals that sprung out from this extinction event 66 million years ago. Early mammals were small, nocturnal, and mostly underground due to the reigning reptiles on land. Around 50 million years ago, mammals diversified into whales as well as horses and bats. 30 million years ago, the Africa and Asia monkey lines split from the South American lines. And other mammals on this tree of mammal life now include elephants, rhinos, and cats. By 10 million years ago, there was major diversification of primates into different lines. And mammals also are now grazing across wide grassland. 5 million years ago, saw early hominins walking on two legs. And 1 million years ago, we have tools. Hominins have bigger brains, and there are many more species of hominins. 300,000 years ago, we evolved, Homo sapiens, creative, intelligent, destructive, and highly social. Here at the end of this painting, I've placed us, humans, with a tiny pyramid, a couple of buildings, and a single human shape. If the planet's timeline were a single day, we'd only appear in the final few seconds before midnight. Our recorded civilization began around 5,000 years ago, and yet in that time we have built cities, we've mapped the stars, we've split the atoms, and we've even seen our own planet from space. Seeing ourselves as part of this vast space, it doesn't make us insignificant. It makes us aware. It shifts our perspective. And shift our perspective we must do. We do not rule this world that we are born into. We are part of it, albeit a small part, but we are still part of it. And the forces of nature, as we have seen, are far more powerful than anything we will ever become. Thank you very much for watching this video and for coming on this journey with me to explore the story of Earth. If this video resonated with you, please do like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.